Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the first video of rankings of 2023. Well, technically, yeah, first rankings of 2023. This is the first out of a set of videos I'm going to do. This one's going to be, comic book movies of 2023. We are also going to do the worst movies of 2023. We're going to do the best movies of 2023. We're going to talk about disappointing movies of 2023. We're going to talk about surprising movies of 2023. It's going to be a series of videos that I do kind of leading within the next 2 weeks here. I was just going to do like my top 10 worst and best. Last year I did a couple extras though, and I liked doing it. So we're going to start with comic book movies here. And we're going to talk about the 9 comic book movies that came out now. There were a couple other ones. There was like the Scott Pilgrim TV show I got to talk about. There was all the TV shows that Marvel did. There's the Gen V. I don't really watch TV shows. That's the big thing to remember. I also realized that The Killer is a comic book. I refuse to watch any Netflix movie that is not in theaters, essentially. Once Oscar season comes up, if some of the movies that are nominated are not in theaters and I need to get Netflix for a month, I will do so. But I refuse to spend $20 for Netflix when most of their stuff is or yeah, it was all right. That being said, let's start ranking these movies, starting with this one here, which is the most recent one, Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. This movie was fine, but I saw it 2 weeks ago now almost, and I don't remember much of what happened. It was so boring at times. The special effects were terrible. You could tell that a lot of it kind of had been rewritten and redone. It doesn't even feel like a James Wan movie. I cannot believe it's a James Wan movie, honestly. It seems like he was fired. Honestly, the best way to describe this movie is Justice League to Justice League, because dang, it feels weird. So many poop and pee jokes. Characters are just kind of wasted. Some terrible CGI. While there are some fun moments, there's just no payoff to them. Black Manta is an interesting villain, I guess, but I feel like his arc was kind of finished in the first one and kind of should have just been defeated in the first one. And at the end of the day, he's being controlled by some weird demon guy that literally says one word, 2 words. This movie is just kind of nothing. It's not memorable. While there was some fun action sequences, they're just loud and noisy. There's no substance to this movie. So, honestly, and the next 3 movies that are up on this list could literally all be in the same spot. This is just kind of where I put Aquaman, because I was really bored by this one. And I think out of all 3, it's the longest or close to the longest. Yeah, I don't know. The point is, a very boring, bland movie, and it's just not at all going to be a movie I'm going to remember. And even 2 more weeks, I forgotten I've watched this movie at this point. So that's why Aquaman is at number 9. Next up, the Marvels. Like I said, these next few movies could literally be placed in different spots. They're all kind of bad. I will say I liked the chemistry between the 3 leads. That's what I was really excited for. That delivered. The story, though, itself does not. Nick Fury is just in a different movie from what he is in Secret Invasion, from what he is in the last time we saw him in, like, Avengers Endgame. I don't know what movie he's in. No, last time we would have saw him would have been Far From Home, technically. Well, no, because he was a Skrull. I don't know. The point is, Nick Fury ain't Nick Fury in this movie. Weird musical city, weird kitty cats eating people. I'm going to fly into the sun, and all of a sudden, the sun will be born again, and there'll be air in the world again, even though there hasn't been for 30 years or whatever, and you guys have somehow survived. This movie just made no sense. It's weird and dumb. things don't make it just make it doesn't make sense. You know, your family's in danger, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna take you in a spaceship in space. Yeah, that makes sense. Where other aliens are trying to kill you. It made no sense to me. Why is my leg like that? Ugh. I have dry skin. It's terrible. Anyways, I'm also not wearing any pants, so don't look down. Unless you want to see me in my underwear. Hashtag my Kelvins. Anyways, yeah, this movie is just it's not good. It's really not. The humor has just gotten ridiculous in these movies. They're turning into slapstick, and it's just not working. So yeah, the Marvels number 8. Again, it could be 9. It could be 7. Depends on my day. As of now, though, number 7, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I, honestly, this could be number 9. I feel like this should be number 9. The fact that Kang is no longer going to, I mean, maybe he could be a character still, but he's kind of taken out of the MCU at this point with Jonathan Majors. That's something. The movie's called Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and there's barely any wasp in this movie. The fact that ants defeat Kang, the MODOK thing, I mean, just so much of this movie did not work. Like, just so many things don't make sense. Like, they're playing around the quantum realm in Ant-Man the Wasp and such like that, and you know it's okay then, but now it's not okay. Which I guess they got blipped, so it makes some sense. But like, there's just certain things that make no sense in this movie. Um, yeah, it is completely green screen. It's just there's nothing real in these movies anymore, and it just doesn't work. The ending just kind of it's just so dumb and silly. Um, and it was trying too hard to be something it's not. Peyton Reed literally said, "I want a bigger stakes Ant-Man movie." Ant-Man's not big stakes. I mean, he can be big stakes, but make it at a smaller level. Why? Why are you trying to make it into Avengers? Um, I didn't understand the thoughts behind that. Um, what else can I say about this? I mean, it's fine. The thing is I don't remember. Again, it's the same thing as I've said kind of about Aquaman. It's also kind of the same with Marvels. There's a lot of things I'm not going to remember about this movie. I'm going to remember moments and how dumb they are. That's what I'm going to remember about this movie. So right now it's at 7. It could be number 9. It could be number 8. It's just not good. Come on, computer. Next up is Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Now, we're going into these movies were not good to this movie was fine territory. I like Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I really enjoyed the first Shazam. Came out my birthday weekend of 2019. 2018, 2019, 2019. I think it was 2019. And I really enjoyed it. I had a blast with it, and I was excited for the sequel. I will say Zachary Levi is acting like a child, while the actual child is like a little more mature of an 18-year-old, and it doesn't make sense. I thought Helen Mirren was a you could tell Helen Mirren was having fun. I forget the other girl's name. And Rachel Zegler, you know, they're having fun. You can tell everyone's having fun in this. This movie also has the most obnoxious product placement. Besides Aquaman, Aquaman had obnoxious Guinness product placement. This one had Skittles, Taste the Rainbow. Oh my god, it was bad. There's some fun action sequences. You know, fighting the dragon, that's pretty cool. But again, it was just kind of, you know, mediocre. We've seen this before. The Wonder Woman cameo, you can tell Gal Gadot never actually filmed it in front of anybody else. She was just there by herself on a green screen. Probably filmed the Flash, you know, cameos the exact same day. So yeah, it's kind of there. It's fine. I enjoyed this movie for what it is. It's not as good as the first, but it's fine. I haven't rewatched it yet, but I would like to rewatch. I'll rewatch it again at some point. I would maybe consider buying this on Blu-ray during Black Friday. Maybe. It's got to be cheap. Cheap as all heck, like $5 4K or under. So yeah, this movie was fine. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it, but it wasn't great. Next up, we're getting just into good movie territory. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. This was a really fun movie. First time I saw it was in 4DX after being hungover, and not the best way to see the movie. I saw it a second time just recently. Actually, that was my first review coming back from my break. I enjoyed this movie a lot. It's a lot of fun. The animation's beautifully done. I love the voice work in the movie. Story is fun. I like seeing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being actual teenagers. And I like that they're messing up and screwing up and still learning about themselves. Jackie Chan as Splinter was great. Yeah, there's some silly stuff in here that doesn't necessarily work. Story's a little goofy. I like April O'Neil in this. It was a different take, and I enjoyed that. It's a fun movie. Is it my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie? Probably not, but it's up there. It's a fun, delightful movie, and that's about all I can say about it. Really, it's absolutely delightful, and it's not a bad thing. It's a 90-minute delightful movie. That's great. So yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, delightful. Next up, Blue Beetle. This was a movie that I didn't think I was going to love. It looked way overly generic, kind of like what I thought, like Aquaman ended up being. Aquaman Lost Kingdom, I'm going to say. It wasn't. It had this beautiful story about family in it, supporting of one's family, loving each other's family, had some Latino culture. Susan Sarandon is a complete, seen it before villain. The ending is, very similar to other superhero movies, very similar to something like Iron Man, but it did some things to be a little original. It was goofy at times, but it was fun. I enjoyed George Lopez, for example, in it. The love interest is just there. There's some huge plot conveniences that you just can't forgive when you're watching the movie, but you just ignore it instead and move on. There's some cool action sequences. The special effects were decent. It was a fun movie. It was a fun superhero movie. I enjoyed watching it. I didn't love it though. I mean, it was just fine. It was better than fine. It was good. It was just, we've seen better with how many super movies have came out in the last 10 years now. You got to be better than this. Enjoyable. If we get a Blue Beetle sequel, if I forget the actor's name, but if he ends up being in a DC movie down the line, great. I would like to see more of this Blue Beetle character. It was enjoyable. I laughed quite a few times, and I thought it had a lot of heart. So it is a really good movie. What are we even at? Hold on. I always do this to myself. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And that's why it's number 4. Because it's good. It's great. It's not the top 3, but it's an honorable mention. Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And it's at 3. I didn't even plan that. I love Guardians of the Galaxy number 1. I did not love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume number 2. And from watching the trailers with this one, I was going in going, eh. And after Ant-Man this year, I was very, eh. This was good. Adam Warlock is absolutely ridiculous in this movie. But all the original characters that we grew to love are great. I love where they end up, where their arcs take them. There's a lot of fun action sequences in this movie. That oneer in the hallway is great. I think this movie's a little too long and spends a little too much time dealing with Rocket and, his abuse. And I found the villain of this movie, whatever his name is, to be a little too cartoony, a little over the top and ridiculous. It got a little too James Gunny at time, I guess you could say. Some of the humor was a little bit much, but not as bad as the second one. The second one's just obnoxious and annoying. and it still did have a lot of heart, which I appreciated. And everyone just kind of ended up in great spots, since this is the last time that they're saying we're ever going to see the Guardians of the Galaxy like this again. It ended well in that sense, and I'm glad that we got a great ending to the end of this trilogy. So, I was very happy about that. Um, yeah, it was just a really enjoyable movie. I still didn't think it was as great as some people think it was. It's still really good though. I have minor things to complain about it. Really, I do need to go back and rewatch it though. Adam Warlock, I remember, is just a thing that really drove me nuts with it. Um, I hope that worked. Adam Warlock was the thing that really drove me nuts, as well as the bad guy. He just kind of annoyed me too. So there's just some annoying characters. James Gunn sometimes can be a little too goofy, and it's happened particularly for his last few movies. That just certain things get a little too goofy, and it drives me a little nuts. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, very good movie. I'll be watching this again real soon. You'll see a full-fledged review probably soon of this, because I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch the Marvel movies from this year, honestly, because I've only seen each and every one of them one time, which is weird for me. Shows you how bad of a year it is. Number 2, this might be a controversial pick, but I loved The Flash. We're going into just movies that I loved. Guardians of the Galaxy I did not love. I love The Flash. It's so good. I loved the story behind this, of someone who lost his mother too soon, and just can't get over it, and he's trying to move on, and he's processing. I enjoyed that about this movie. Michael Keaton as Batman back was great. I don't like the way he went out. That drove me nuts a little bit. But I had fun with this movie. Yes, the CGI looks bad. It looks absolutely terrible. That baby scene at the beginning, I can forgive the little portal thing, the traveling, whatever you want to call it. I can forgive that, but the babies just cannot be forgiven. And really, that scene does not need the movie. You could have just did the car chase scene with Batman, and it would have been fine. Again, another Wonder Woman cameo that maybe she was there on set with him. I don't know. Well, actually, I think there was pictures that she was on set with them. So, and I think it was still filmed the same day as Shazam. Yeah, this movie is so good. It has so much heart. I forget the girl's name that plays Supergirl. She does fantastic. I love her in the scenes. Again, there's some silly, goofy stuff in this movie that's like, okay, so you're going to do that, and that makes no sense, but okay, I'll go with it. Um, I thought Barry Allen's, younger self was going to be overly annoying. It worked. Ezra Miller, it is what it is with them. I choose to kind of ignore it as I'm watching the movie, because Andy Muschietti is a great director. I love the It movies. I can tell he likes this character quite a bit, and he loved making this movie. It's just too bad that it didn't perform well, and that, the special effects were good. Other than that, though, the story is great. I don't understand why people are overlooking the story, and how it's a beautiful tale of, like, moving on and grieving, and all that. It's a beautiful movie. I found it to just be beautiful. I bought it on 4K. I need to watch it and go over the bonus features. I'm a little behind on my 4K reviews, but I've been watching so many movies that may come out in theaters, and now we're at the end of the year, so more to become with my reviews of Blu-rays and stuff. I want to keep doing that because it is fun and I enjoy doing it. So, The Flash, guys, great movie. What is that? Number 2. This is number 2, my second favorite movie of the year. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I had a lot of fun. Certain things didn't love, certain ending choices I didn't love, but it is what it is. And number 1, guys, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, if not, not the favorite, but it's definitely up there. I saw that movie 13 times in theaters. I didn't love this one as much as Into the Spider-Verse. I think I only saw it 2 or 3 times in theaters. But it's still really good. Again, I bought it on 4K. I will be reviewing that soon. Miles is such a great character. I love his character so much. Gwen is such a great character. I love her so much. And they did some really cool stuff in here. Lots of cool Easter eggs. I think the thing that really killed it for me is just how it ended. And they did announce that this was going to be part one of two, and then they went back on it. Um, so I knew that going in, but it doesn't feel like a complete story to me, and I didn't like that. I also didn't love Spot. He was a little too goofy. Um, but really, my biggest issues with these movies are little nitpicks. Spot was a little bit of an annoying character, a villain, but he got better by the end of the movie. Um, I didn't love Miguel, but by the end of the movie, it makes sense. I went with it a bit more. Um, all the spider people are really cool and stuff like that. The Gwen story that we got was beautiful. The animation is so spectacular. It's just mind blowing. And pay your animators, please, so that we can continue seeing these amazing Spider-Man movies. Um, I don't think we're gonna get the sequel this year. I don't even know if we're gonna get it next year. I hope. Um, but yeah, this movie is just so good, and I can't wait to watch it on 4K. I really gotta get on that and start watching it. Um, but yeah, guys, those are the rankings of the 9 comic book movies that came out this year. Please tell me what you think. I people definitely should be commenting down below and saying, huh, you like the Flash that much. What's wrong with you? In fact, I probably have already told this story, but when I went home to the Midwest this summer, it had been like 2 weeks after The Flash came out, and I went to my old movie theater where I went, and everyone in the theater was like, "What? You like The Flash? You've seen it twice already, Cody? Why? What was good about it?" I'm like, "It's such a beautiful." No, it's not beautiful, Cody. There's nothing beautiful about the movie. It's terrible. Like, it's good. And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, we can all agree, is just really good. Um, yeah, I think that's everyone's favorite comic movie. Stop barking, dogs. Chester's a good boy. He's just lying there. Okay, guys, I have to get going to bed. As you can see, I'm really tired. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great night, though. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and keep watching those movies. I will have another review of a movie out tomorrow, and then after that, I will do another list of 2023. Keep things moving. So yeah, guys, I hope you have a great night. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.